I've been using Claude AI for a few months now. Is ever since it was introduced, it was Claude 2.0, or Claude 2, I guess, is the version that was made publicly available. Now, Claude.ai was actually an AI platform that was created by a bunch of ex-employees of OpenAI, which is the company that created ChatGPT. And Claude AI created their own platform with a little bit different twist. Now, their primary purpose for doing it is they're trying to create a more I guess responsible AI that will, do no evil, and I applaud them for that. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like or how that works, and really what I'm interested in is how I can use it for marketing in the mortgage business. So that's what we're going to look at today. And this is going to be a little bit different of an episode. I'm going to try to do a screen share and I'm going to show you a few different ways that I've been using it. And primarily, I'm going to show you three different ways. Now, I did an episode on how to use Claude AI to, I guess, manage yourself, help you come up with management ideas and strategies using a disc profile. And I used my marketing DNA profile from Perry Marshall, and that was really cool and really interesting. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I'll go back and I'll show you that a little bit. The couple other things that I've been doing is I've been using PDFs, which is the unique part about Claude AI, is you can attach attachments to it, file attachments. So it'll allow up to 10 megabyte files. I believe that's what it is. We'll test it once we get in there. But you can add attachments to Claude AI and use that as the source. And then your prompt is basically just, hey, look at this document and give me this information from the document. So the couple of things that I'm going to show you that I think are really, really cool are taking underwriting guideline charts and creating content out of that. And then the one that I'm really excited about that I'm doing a lot more experimenting with is how to create a chatbot for underwriting guidelines so that it's easier for you to search and get answers out of underwriting guidelines. And for today's experiment, we're going to use some VA underwriting guidelines from VA, and I have another PDF from VA that I used. So let's take a look at this. And so here's Claude AI. It's literally Claude.ai. The link will be down in the show notes, but it's pretty easy to find. And you log into this very similar to the way you would ChatGPT. I just used my Google login. You can also log in with an email and a password, and you can create an account that way. And for now, Claude is completely free. I have heard that there's a Claude Pro coming out that's going to be $20 a month. That sounds very similar to ChatGPT, which ChatGPT Pro is also $20 a month. And I did make that investment. So I do use the ChatGPT paid version because I find it to be significantly better than the unpaid version. Right now, we're using just the free version of Claude. So let me see how I'm going to do this. So we literally just click on the login, and for me, I'm already kind of logged into it. I wanted to show you the login screen, so that's what that looks like. And then this is what the dashboard looks like for Claude AI. Right here, you see, this bugs me. You can't even see this because this is my Grammarly. If you don't use Grammarly, I would recommend you do. It's a free plugin, and it basically helps with spell check, phrasing, and grammar. And I use it extensively with AI content. So once I produce an output from AI, whether it's a script or a blog post or something like that, something that I'm going to publish, I usually run it through Grammarly, and that's going to clean it up even more. It's going to fix the grammar. It's going to look for, there's usually not spelling errors, but sometimes the phrasing and punctuality and things like that um, are just not as good with the AI output. So you can either start a new chat here. If you click on this, it says add files, 5 max up to 10 megabyte each, and it accepts PDFs, text files, and CSV files. So you can upload like not Excel, but CSV versions of spreadsheets and have it analyze numbers, things like that. We're not using it for that today, but basically this is what it looks like. When you click the attachment, it will open up your downloads folder and it will show you which files you can upload. So it's going to gray out everything that you can't use. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've done with it with attachments. And so I'm going to kind of show you what the results were for the sake of time. So this particular one, I attached my disk profile. So this is a little bit older disk profile, and I attached it using the attachment. I just added it. And then I said, what can you tell me about the best way to communicate with Scott from his disk profile? And it gave me a bunch of great information. Then I uploaded my marketing DNA test and I said, what can you tell me about how Scott communicates his marketing message based on his marketing DNA? And it gave me some really cool, answers there. Then I sort of asked it, Scott is a loan officer based on his DISC test and his marketing DNA. What are some ideas for the best way for Scott to grow his business? Now, I did a much longer episode on this, but you can kind of see, and this was spot on, by the way. Then I asked it, if I want to convince Scott of something. So I basically did a bunch of prompts and I did a whole episode on this. Maybe I'll link to this in the notes so that you can see it. But I did a whole test. A whole test with this. Now up here, you're going to see the menu. You see this little A thing. That's the menu of your past chats. So let me see. What is the next one that I did? Okay, this one. So this one, we were looking at creating content around PCSing, permanent change of station, for military members. And what we did is we took the PCS handbook from the VA website. I want to say it was 76 pages is what this PDF was. And we uploaded this and I wrote a prompt and basically said, can you write me a blog post, an SEO blog post that answers these questions? And I had 6 questions about a PCS, and it did a pretty darn good job. Now, this is pretty high level stuff. It's not going to be unique to or specific to anyone's specific situation, but it did a pretty good job. Then I asked it to create a series of 10 blog posts about PCS, and it did a pretty good job of that. Can you write me a Facebook post using topic 2? So that's a common benefit or a common feature of these AI platforms is it remembers everything that you told it in previous conversations. So this gave me 10 different Facebook posts, and I liked this one. Just got PCS orders and need to buy or sell a house. Make sure to explain your situation to a real estate agent and lenders for support. So I said, here's can you write me a Facebook post using topic number 2? And it kind of gave me a longer Facebook post here. So that's one way that I attached a PDF. Here's another way. So this one is actually the 2 to 4 unit all agency comparison chart from Mortgage Currency. If you're not familiar with Mortgage Currency, you should be. I'll put a link to this in the details as well. But if you're a loan officer, Mortgage Currency is one of those kind of must-have tools. And basically, what they do is they publish the guidelines. So they summarize and publish all of the guidelines, all of the guideline updates for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, USDA. Now they're starting to do portfolio stuff. They also create like lunch and learn slide decks, talking points, marketing materials. But one of the things that I really like is they create these all agency charts. So one time I did a series of videos, consumer direct videos on how to use child support and alimony when qualifying for a mortgage. And so I used the all agency chart, and then I created a video for each agency, basically FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. So on this particular one, I was doing some research on 2 to 4 units guidelines for Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, USDA. So I attached this as a 3-page PDF, and it is really just a comparison chart, and it shows one next to the other in a vertical chart, and it kind of gives all the guidelines, what the specific guidelines are for each one. So for Claude, I attached this PDF, and then I said, can you give me a summary of the guidelines for 2 to 4 units? And it gave me a pretty good guideline. It says whether it's owner occupied or investment are allowed, what the max LTV, what the minimum credit score, and if there were, this one gives us reserve requirements. So it did a pretty good job. And then it kind of did a comparison of all of them, which was kind of cool. Then we asked it, can you write me a video script about buying a 2-unit home with FHA financing? And this is a pretty good video script. This is like what you would put in a teleprompter. And again, well, I don't know if I would use this as for a video because there's a lot of numbers in this. So you'd probably, if you were doing this video, you'd probably want to put some sort of B-roll or some sort of slides, like I typically do on mine, have a slide to kind of show some of this stuff. But that's a really cool way to use this. You can also ask this certain things about the PDF. For instance, can I use an FHA loan to buy a duplex for an investment property? Now, I already know the answer to this, and if you've watched a lot of my if you've watched a lot of my podcasts on these AIs, you never want to ask it something that you don't already know the answer to, because these things hallucinate a lot, which means they make up answers. They just kind of make them up. They give them to you. They sound really, really good. So you buy into it, and you don't want to publish that kind of information. So I know what the answer is. You can't use FHA. And it tells us that no, FHA can only be used to purchase a duplex as a primary residence, not as an investment property. Here's some key points on FHA duplex guidelines. Borrower must occupy one side, refers to it as an owner-occupied duplex. Non-owner occupied duplexes are not eligible. The duplex must be designed for residential use. It does allow rental income from the tenant to help you qualify for the loan. However, there's limitations on how much can be used. So we know that's 75%. The FHA maximum for the duplex is 970,000. So actually, I think that's the current guidelines for 2023. So that's really cool. That's interesting. I would double check that. And then the maximum financing is 96.5%, which is our 3.5% down with all FHA. So that's one way to do it. Uploading this chart and then asking it to create content from the chart. Now, this one is really, really cool. I downloaded chapter 4 of the VA underwriting manual. And it took the entire thing. So if you know the VA underwriting guidelines, there's different chapters. So I just downloaded the main one that we use for underwriting guidelines, which is chapter 4, and I uploaded it. And I have this prompt that I crafted. So I've actually been working on trying to create chatbots that look at the underwriting guidelines for all the agencies, and I'm kind of training those so that if a loan officer can easily access underwriting guidelines, ask it natural language questions the way that you would ask an underwriter, but you don't have to bother an underwriter. This will get you most of the way. So if you are interested in this prompt, just leave a comment below or reach out to me wherever you see this, and I can send you this prompt. This is the prompt that I'm using right now, but basically I'm telling it you're a chatbot that you're going to use to assist loan officers with questions about underwriting guidelines. When loan officer asks, make sure that you understand the question, ask clarifying questions if you want, offer different options, and most importantly, cite the section and the section number of the guidelines where you got this answer. Because again, you don't want to just trust what AI gives you, but if this can help reduce the amount of time that it takes you to find answers in underwriting guidelines, then this is a really, really cool tool. So it says, I understand that you recognize this. I do this a lot. Do not create output yet. Let me know you understand. You're ready for the next prompt. And so it says, I'm ready for the next prompt. Go ahead and ask me questions. I will ask clarifying questions if needed, and I'll avoid repetitive answers. Please provide the next prompt when ready. And so I asked it, how do I calculate student loan payments? That's simple. And it gave me 3 options. Here are a few options for calculating student loan payments, which was really cool. Then I asked it, what is the waiting period after a bankruptcy? So again, this is so cool to me because I don't have to say what is the waiting period if you're trying to qualify for a VA loan. I attach the VA underwriting guidelines, so it already knows that I'm referencing the underwriting guidelines that I attach to it. And this was really great. This is the exact right answer. There are a few options. If the bankruptcy is discharged more than 2 years ago, it may generally be disregarded. See Section 7, subsection B. If the bankruptcy was discharged within the last 2 years, additional requirements must be met. Again, Section 7, subsection B. And if the bankruptcy was discharged within the past 12 months, it's generally not possible to determine the borrower as a satisfactory credit risk. And then it says there are flexibilities. The guidelines provide some flexibility for cases like Chapter 13 and bankruptcies caused by extenuating circumstances. Let me know if you need any clarification. So this is a really, really good example of and add this. There we go. I'm back. Okay, so like there's a few examples. If you want it, I think there's a lot of merit to the DISC profile. And I would use that with any like personality tests, marketing DNA tests, like I said, from Perry Marshall, your DISC results. But using it to attach underwriting guidelines or guideline matrices to go through there and ask questions to either just give you answers just to help you save time on trying to find answers in underwriting guidelines, or to create content out of underwriting guidelines. These are really, really cool uses for Claude AI. So I highly recommend that you go and play with it. Check out this tool. Again, it's free. I haven't played with the pro version, the paid version of it yet. I've seen reports of it, but I haven't seen it be available. So if I use that and if something new comes out of it, I'll let you know. But hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully this is one more tool you can put in your toolbox to help give you a competitive edge when you're working in the mortgage business, either marketing, research, or anything else that's going to help you in this, quite frankly, pretty crazy market that we're in as I record this in September of 2023. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you next time.